Welcome to the Heal and Restore podcast with your host, of course, me, Randy. And once again, this wouldn't be the same if she wasn't sitting next to me, my beautiful wife, the hostess with the mostest, Cathy.
Thank you, honey.
We want you to know that we're dedicated to helping couples and individuals strengthen their relationships through healing, growth, and honest, deep conversation.
Yeah, it's good.
We'll dive deep into topics like communication, forgiveness, intimacy, family, and emotional connection because healthy love starts with a healed heart.
I love that. A healed heart.
Healed heart. So tune in each week and take the next step toward restoring what matters most.
Beautiful. Love that.
Love that. All right. So in today's episode titled How to Know If You're Growing Apart and What to Do About It.
Ouch. That could be
a little hurtful.
That could be.
Well,
yeah.
Hurtful because, first of all, you got to acknowledge the fact that, we are growing apart.
Yeah.
Right? And that can be painful in its own.
Yeah, just that alone. So today, we're going to dive deep into one of the quiet warning signs in a relationship, and that's growing apart.
Yes.
So whether it's an emotional distance, it's a lack of shared connection, or feeling more like you're just roommates than partners, this episode will help you identify the subtle and the not so subtle signals that your relationship might be drifting apart. But it's not just about awareness. That's what we have to remember. It's about taking action. Okay, we're going to go through that. Yeah. So we're going to walk you through some practical faith-based steps to reconnect you emotionally, spiritually, and relationally. We're going to learn how to communicate. There's the word, communicate your needs with compassion. We're going to learn to rebuild trust and intentionally pursue one another once again.
There's that intentionality.
Yeah, we got to do it. So if your relationship feels more distant than it used to be, and face it, sometimes that happens, this episode will encourage you to press pause, lean in, and take some real steps towards healing and closeness.
Now, when you said if your relationship feels more distant than it used to, okay, it's like I hear that thing, if you're tired of me, you can't leave.
Yeah.
If you're tired of me, go to bed. I'll come back to it tomorrow.
Yeah,
right?
That's
so,
good.
It's part of it. It's like any relationship. We're going to ebb and flow with each other.
Yeah.
I always loved Cathy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say even when I had the affair, I was still in love with Cathy. But man, I was a messed up character, right? And today, there's days that I don't like Cathy. And I've said, I don't like you today. And she goes, well, I don't blame you because I don't like myself.
Yeah.
And vice versa. So look,
that happens.
That's part of marriage and that's part of committed relationships.
Right.
You just got to work. It'll pass.
Yeah. I just want to as we jump in here, and I know you've got some thoughts on a story, but I think we all, if we're honest with ourselves, we can all say that at some point in our relationship, whether it's been a short period of time or a long period of time, we've all felt that disconnect at some point or another.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so even though we've been married 42 years, it wasn't always a tight connection. We had a disconnect in our marriage for a few years.
Yeah. Well,
and you want to share a little bit about, you want to share a little bit about what prompted that. And so I say this because I want people and our listeners to know that they're not alone if they're feeling this way. There's nothing to be shameful about this, guilty about it. Some things will happen, and we're going to go into signs that you've grown apart, what you can do to help fix that. But we've all been there. So share what comes to your mind when you think about times that we've drifted and apart.
Most of the time we drifted apart has been a lot of my issues, but I didn't know any different. And it's when Cathy and I first got married, it's like we had a kind of a deep connection. I mean, we got along, and she's the first person I ever told about my abuse, and she had a chance to run, and she didn't. She committed to to our relationship at that time. I hadn't asked her to marry me yet, but she was committed to the relationship at that time, and we had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's like it wasn't until that 21st year, and if you really think it, things started going sideways, but that 21st year is when it got dark. During that time, there was a lot of ebb and flows, right? Again, a lot of it was because of my unresolved trauma, right? And Cathy being the wife that I'll say that she thought she needed to be, but she's being very codependent. was just right there with me, making sure not to disrupt the boat,
Mm-hmm.
right? And a lot of women, a lot of wives, that's how they feel.
That's what I saw
right?
growing up as
Yeah,
well.
right.
My mom was very even keeled. My
Right.
dad was just kind of quiet. And I felt like my mom was always keeping the peace.
Right, right. And that's kind of how Kathy was.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, over the last year, she's helped me in a lot of different ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, it was good until that 21st year, but it just, sometimes it just shifts,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not. We felt like roommates a couple times, and I think I even said it, and Kathy would agree. When I said I feel like roommates right now. There's no sexual intimacy. We're just like, you're busy at work, I'm busy with the business. Where are we going with this?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
We had to learn. I used to tell Kathy, we can't let the candle, we can't let the wick burn out. Right? You remember that?
Yeah.
So we can't do that. The kids are going to be out of the house. We're going to be in a position where we're going to be looking at each other. And in fact, we got to that. I was like, now what do we do? Who are you? Yeah. So we kind of had to. I don't want to say fall in love all over again, but we had to
reconnect. Definitely.
We definitely had to reconnect. Right.
Yeah.
So it's just part of the relationship.
Yeah, and I think why this topic matters and why it's important to us that we put it out there is that this particular situation of growing apart, it sneaks up on us.
It does.
It's not like, coming in with cymbals and drums and here I am, I pushed you away. It happens very subtly.
You know what? And during that emotional, we'll call it disconnect, let's call it that, right? That's where we can get in a lot of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Because what happens is we forget that maybe our wife's going through the same thing or our husband's going through the same thing. And we start seeking that attention from the opposite sex somewhere else. At first, it's innocent. It's just like, man, okay, great.
Or we dive into our work.
Right? But we have to be there's no such thing as a platonic relationship
right.
in with a married couple.
Yeah.
It's just, it doesn't, believe me, it doesn't work.
Yeah, so like I said, it's very subtle. So we're going to talk about some of the signs that you may be growing apart. And not all of these happen, but if they're happening, they're probably happening in a particular order.
Yeah.
And the very first one is, again, we talk about this all the time, pretty much every episode, is decrease in meaningful communication, where you sit down and have those heartfelt talks. Those heartfelt talks start getting farther and farther away from each other to the point where sometimes you're not even having those. Then it turns into more criticism than curiosity. You start picking apart your spouse or your partner, what you don't like about them, and you forget about what are the good things that they bring. And you're no longer curious about what they like and what they love. And so then you get critical of them. That one's not fun.
No, that's kind of what I did to Kathy. I mean, she's always been a great wife, but there are certain things, aspects about her that it's like, I forgot why I married her.
Yeah.
She never changed. It was my stinking thinking, right? And it just kind of like pushed, it put a wedge between us that we didn't even know. I didn't even know was happening.
No. I will say the next one, avoiding conflict, for me, as a result of lack of meaningful conversation, the criticism, things coming, I avoided conflict because I did not want to get involved in that, because I had become emotionally detached. I was breaking down myself at that point. So I would avoid conflict, and I still can avoid conflict, but that's something I have had to work on as a result of the times that we were growing apart. Yeah. So,
and again, we can't, like I tell people, how would we know any different? Whoever taught us how to deal with these things.
Yeah, no, definitely. And the other one too, I think that's really kind of a subtle one, is you're feeling alone even when you're together. You might think, well, we do everything together, but are you emotionally together?
Right.
And that's what we're talking about, is being alone even when you're together.
Yeah, a lot of people struggle with that. They really do. It's like, hey, you guys are together. Just, enjoy it. Be proud. I had a hard time when I used to go to UNESCO things. That was me. I felt out of place. But I enjoy doing stuff with Kathy, even if it's like with her sister or other women, right? Hey, they're having fun. I'm just kind of along for a ride, enjoying the company, and it's like I'm staying emotionally connected to her. Like when she wants me there, I'm not going to push myself on her. But whenever we're together, it's not like you have a bunch of rainbows and butterflies and unicorn and bubbles blowing everywhere, but we are emotionally connected, and nothing's going to break that
Right,
connection anymore.
Today we are.
Yeah.
Today if you're, a sign of growing apart is that you are feeling alone,
that
even though you're together.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then
we get it. Both of us felt alone.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then the last one under things that you might notice growing apart is the loss of shared visions or goals. I mean, we know that as we mature and we, have children and things, our visions and our goals may change. But if we're not sharing them any longer, that's when you might be growing apart.
Right.
Yeah. So we've got to be careful of that. But there are causes of why we can emotionally disconnect, and there's some root causes, and a lot of times we're talking about root causes in a lot of our relationships because they are what drives the difficult times of the relationship.
And this first one, yes, we drive it into the ground. We drive it a lot because the reality is it's the truth.
Yeah.
Right. And if we don't face it, nothing's ever going to change because all we're doing is we're doing all the work, but all we're doing is mowing the grass. Right. So it's like, I did all the work on this. How come it keeps coming and resurfacing?
What is it, honey, that we're talking about?
We're talking about working on our unresolved childhood trauma.
Right. That will cause an emotional distance. Definitely.
Exactly. We need to get back. And again, Cathy and I are forward looking. But if we don't get to the root of whatever's going on, and that's usually stems from somewhere, childhood,
past experiences.
If we don't hit that root and dig it up and then start replacing it with positive thinking, it's never going to change.
Right. No.
Right. So.
And another root cause from that creates emotional distance between a couple is busyness and lack of intentional time. And I say lack of, it's because we're not being intentional at all.
Right.
So that will cause an emotional distance.
And that's because of why?
Well, a lot of times we have life transitions.
Yeah,
we have to start having children. Our kids get involved in sports. We start having our careers that take us there. Maybe you're caregiving for for your spouse, or maybe you're caregiving for an adult parent, or even a child.
Right.
Those types of things will put emotional distance between us. And then the last one
talking that real quick on the transitions, right? All these things are a part of marriage or long-term, intimate, connected relationships, even if you're not married, but you guys are life partners, right? Yeah. That's life. And it's going to happen. And it's going to seem like, God, I never see you anymore. You're working all the time. Then we're at the kids. We're here, blah, blah, blah. There's one key factor. In my books, it's like the flicker of hope, right? Never let that candle burn out. Right. Even if it's just a flicker, keep that flicker lit throughout your entire marriage, throughout all of this. Yeah. Because you're going to wake up one day, the kids are going to be gone, right?
Hello.
You got an empty house, as Cathy and I did, and we talked to other people, and it's like, Hi.
What's your name?
I mean, I recognize you, but who are you, right? And so if you let that flame go out, it's going to really cause a lot of issues. Yeah. So it happens.
Yeah. And then, lack of spiritual intimacy and shared values. Those are causes for emotional distance. So, you have to get back into, and even for us, I mean, we did not always have a spiritual intimacy between us, but as we have over the last many, many years, sometimes my spiritual intimacy is a little stronger than yours, and your spirituality is a little stronger than mine. But the fact that we have those shared values today, one of us can always pull the other one with us. But if neither of us have them, that's where we push each other apart.
And I just want to clarify the word intimacy, as we always do, because a lot of people have the wrong idea. The true meaning of intimacy is into you, or into me you see, or into
me I see.
Into me I see, right? Yeah. So it's not the sexual part. That is a byproduct of really, really good intimacy. So when we're talking about spiritual intimacy, it's our connection with God.
Yeah.
Whatever that is with you, but
for you, with you,
it's an intimate connection.
Yeah. And then, so what can we do about all these things now that we've discovered, what the root causes are and signs that we might be growing apart? What do we do? And there's a few steps that we can take here, and one of them, the main one, is that we need to create a safe space, a place that we can have honest conversation, and
without feedback.
But even with feedback, if you're in a healthy place, feedback is going to be really key.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
Here's this again: it's conversation. So what's our biggest issue? lack of communication. So we have to come back to creating a safe space so that we can have that open, honest conversation.
Which is something that Cathy and I don't know where we ran across this, but we have
A tool.
it's a tool that all of our clients usually get it at the end of their first session.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they get it at the end of their intake session that
Right.
we do for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's called Empty the Jug, where you sit down knee to knee with your partner, right? And there's 4 questions
Yep.
it's mad, sad, fearful, and grateful, right? What are you mad about? What are you sad about? What are you fearful about? And what are you grateful for, right? One partner asks the questions to the other, all 4 of them, and no feedback.
There's no feedback.
Nothing. You can't.
No facial
No
expressions.
facial expression. No.
No.
Nothing. Yeah. No
Really?
deep breath. Yeah. That's a class. None of that. The other person just gets to say what they want to say. It creates a really safe spot.
Yeah.
And then you reverse the role.
roles. Yeah.
And one of our couples, when they first started doing it, I remember they came to us the next session, and each of them said this: I had no idea how much weight my spouse was carrying on their shoulders. I had no idea they were carrying all that. So it's a good way because it's safe. There's no feedback. It's just a good way to start those conversations.
Yeah, start the conversations that sometimes are hard. And I will just share this too.
Yeah.
If you are interested in the Empty the Jug tool, you can go to our website at healandrestorecounseling.com. We have a video up there.
Yeah.
It's a little example of how the Empty the Jug process works. Feel free to go to the website, check it out, and while you're there, check out all the other good stuff on the website as well. Another thing that we can work on that we can to change and bring us closer together is reignite curiosity.
Yes.
And we talk about this a lot too. Start asking those deeper questions. Start asking those curious questions. Get into your partner or your spouse's thoughts by asking those deeper questions.
And I just thought of a way to do that sitting here, right? Because we talk about, when we're going out, we enjoy each other's company, we get to know each other, right? And then at some point in time, we're going to get married. We start talking about our personal visions and our goals as a married couple, what we want in that, right? And so that's something that will change over time.
Which we mentioned, yeah.
Okay. And so part of that reigniting curiosity is sitting down and say, hey, we've been married for, let's just say, I'm going to use 5 years. And our goals were that we were going to buy a house. We were going to have a child within our first 5 years. I'm just throwing myself out there. We've accomplished that.
Now what?
What's next? What's your vision for let's just say the next 5 years, right?
That's good.
And so that's a way to have those conversations. And you might disagree on stuff, but that's okay. That's where we learn. The true intimacy is let's find a compromise on this situation.
It's interesting that you said that, because I know that there are families, couples out there that I know of, that they have weekly meetings together. And this might be an opportunity to where you just take a 30-minute window. Maybe it's a Saturday evening or a Sunday morning where you have your cup of coffee or whatever, and you sit down and just have those reigniting curiosity questions and conversations. That will definitely help pull you together.
Yes.
The other thing, too, is establishing regular connection, whether it's through taking a walk weekly, daily, maybe start praying together if you haven't been praying together. That has been so helpful. Enjoying a meal together. And maybe it's a meal with the family and then a meal just together, the two of you.
Right.
Feed the kids, put them to bed, and sit down and have a late night meal together. The other thing that's important, we talk about it a lot, is date days or date nights.
Yes.
Whether it's just going out for ice cream, it doesn't have to be anything extravagant. It could be a 30-minute coffee date.
Yep.
The important thing is to reconnect on a regular basis, not just every now and then, but put it on the calendar and stick to it. Have it be a non-negotiable for you.
It has to be a non-negotiable, right?
And one thing that I think was really helpful for us is seeking support. Early on, we had a great therapist, but seek support through a life group or coaches like Randy and I.
And we have a life group of all of our clients, right? Yeah. We have it just once a month, and it has created tremendous connection with all of us. What it's doing, it's helping everybody realize, I'm not in this alone,
Nope.
right?
And building community
And
at the
building
same
community
time.
at the same time. There's been some connections made. We have fun at these things.
And not just connections here when we host,
Right.
but outside of this. Other couples are getting together for dinners, or they're getting together with their kids for play dates, or talking about homeschooling, whatever that might look like. So seek out some support.
It's the one thing that, when I got sober, it was really important to have that community of like-minded people. That's the goal. Like-minded people. Because, I could have sat there and gone to my AA meetings, done all this work, but kept on hanging out with the guys that that were no good, right? And it wasn't going to do me any good.
Right.
I mean, it was sad. I had to, not sad. Yeah, it was for me at the point. I had to cut out a lot of people out of my life. And when I found out, it's hard, but a lot of those people I cut out, you'll find out aren't really your friends.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's like they're friends when you got money, you got whatever you want, whatever you need, right? But in finding the support, right, this is something that's really critical, and it's hard for a lot of people.
It's funny, your shirt says community. I just realized that.
Is that the one thing as a married couple, or even a deeply intimate, rooted, long-term partnership, do not go to family members with your issues. Do not go to mom and dad, and do not go to your siblings. Why? Because they can become very biased, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you might be going through a really hard time, and you go to mom or you go to your sister. I'm not saying in all cases, but in many, many cases, they're all of a sudden going to get this attitude with your spouse.
Well, I kind of experienced that myself when we had our little, when you had the affair and stuff. I went right to my sister. And, it took a little while for my sister to rebuild that trust in you. But I can see now that wasn't the swiftest move on my part.
But you didn't have anybody else to go
I
to,
did not.
And you didn't know different.
No,
we didn't have
what we have today. Right. We definitely didn't have what we today.
So when I was able to get into recovery, both of us
had to take action.
We established a really good community of people that were there for our best interests.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the last thing that we can do that really will help us to get connected is recommit to choosing each other daily. And that's one of the things that we have chose. We have been intentional about making each other first. Right. If I put Randy first and he puts me first, we're both first.
We're both first.
We both, I don't want to say we both win because it's not a competition. But we're both respecting each other. Right. We're both loving each other. We're both caring for each other. And we're going to be there for each other.
And you know what? And I'm going to say, and you know this, and we talked about it. I start off every morning making her first, right? Yeah. I'm out here doing my readings because I get up way earlier than her. And I'll wait for her. I can maybe hear her rustling around the bedroom, right? And once I know she's up, she might just be rustling around. I'll let her wake up. And, you ready for coffee? And she'll say yeah or no, but usually it's yeah. Mm-hmm. And the first thing I do is I take her a cup of coffee, take it in, put it next to her bed while she's doing her whatever she's got to do.
My readings
and
postings
and stuff and postings and stuff for us. And I just tell her I love her and she's beautiful. Mm-hmm. That's the first thing she reads, she gets. Let's just say a month is 31 days, probably at 25 days, maybe more of the month. That's true. That's what she gets. Yeah. Right? Unless I'm out of town.
Right. Yeah. And some of the things that I feel like I make you, and this make you first, and this might just sound like, well, you're supposed to do this, but this is really about creating a home that feels like there's love in it. Mm-hmm. I do my best to make sure that the bed is made every day. The dishes are put away. Just things that we take for granted that you just have to do. It actually makes our home feel like there's love in it. And not only am I doing it for him, I'm doing it for myself. So we recommit every day to each other.
Yeah, and Cathy does this. So one thing, Cathy has made our house into a beautiful home. Absolutely beautiful home.
It's what brings the love into the home.
Yeah,
when you feel love in your home, you want to give love away. So
it's our home's supposed to be a safe space where we're supposed to feel at ease.
Yeah.
Even in the turmoils that we might be having together, we're not going nowhere because we know this is our safe space.
Yeah, absolutely. So as we come down to like one of the last things, I think it's for me, I love this. It's a word of encouragement. I am going to be your biggest cheerleader.
Oh, yeah.
I've always been, my glass is always half full. I've always been very positive mindset. And so one of the things that we can do to bring encouragement back into our relationship is remember that God's grace is big enough for the space between both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Invite him back into your marriage. If he has not been in your marriage for a while, or maybe he's on one side, bring him back to the center of your marriage.
Yeah.
Because you're not alone. Healing's possible, but with God at the center, all things come together.
Yeah, and again, it's not going to be easy,
No.
right? I mean, the one thing that the Bible tells us is there's only two things that we're promised: turmoil and tribulation.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have.
Well, there's other promises,
but I mean,
promises
we're not
of struggle.
we're not promised. Let me rephrase that.
Yeah,
we're not promised a real easy
that's
life.
good.
Jesus says you will have trials and tribulations. Yeah. That's a fact, and they're going to be a part of our life.
Yeah.
And when we're working on healing our marriage, I'm telling you, the enemy hates a unified marriage. Yeah. And a unified, he was going to make it difficult.
Yeah. And there's a verse that we talk about quite often in our podcast. Yeah. And so this is our word of encouragement, our actual word, Jesus, the word of God for you.
It's actually the true definition of love.
Right. And that's 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 8. Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to read it.
Yeah.
Because when I read it, it just brings some peace over my heart. And it says that love is patient. Mm-hmm. Love is kind. Love is not envious, boastful, or rude. It doesn't seek its own, is not easily angered, and keeps no records of wrongs. That's the key right there. Love rejoices in truth, protects, hopes, and perseveres. And these are the qualities that are essential for building a strong foundation in a marriage and navigating through difficult times. That feels so good to say.
And I want to just two things I want to point on. Keeps no records of wrongs. Cathy and I have been married, will be 42 years, August 20th this month.
Good answer.
Yeah. And in those 42 years, neither one of us have ever thrown anything from the past in each other's face.
Doesn't benefit us.
Doesn't benefit.
Yeah.
And even what's even stronger is that I had that affair in 2004. It's been 21 years, and Cathy has not once thrown that in my face. But that's because of the healing we did, and I allowed her in those first years to sit there and converse with me.
Right.
And
healing is possible no
matter what. And here's the other thing: love rejoices in truth and protects. Mm-hmm. Our wives, and men, I'm going to talk to you, and husbands too, but our wives need to feel safe and protected by us men.
Yeah.
They need to know that we're going to stand up for them in any situation, that we're going to have their back in any situation.
That's so true.
And I'm not going to allow people to talk bad about Cathy in front of me, period. If I hear it, I'm going to put an end to it. If they want to get too insultive, then I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
But anyway, Cathy, at this point in time, she feels extremely safe and protected. And she has told me as much. So that's one of our jobs, husbands, is we have to make these women, these daughters of God that he's given to us as a gift, we have to make sure they're protected.
That's beautiful, beautiful. So I hope that this brought some encouragement to you, brought some awareness to you, gave you some insight on what you can do. A couple things that we want to do. There's a few call to actions that we're going to give you. And our call to action is going to be, if you are interested in this, reach out to us at healandrestorecounseling@gmail.com. We have a couples check-in worksheet that we will send to you, no charge. Just send it to you. It gives you some things that you can work on. So healandrestorecounseling@gmail.com. You can email us and ask for the couples check-in worksheet. We also want to remind you to subscribe, share, and leave a review wherever you're listening to this, or maybe you're watching it on YouTube. Please subscribe, share, and leave a review for us. We'd love to hear from you. And then if you are interested and want to connect with us, reach out to us through our email at healandrestorecounseling@gmail.com and visit our website at www.healandrestorecounseling.com. There's a lot of good information. There's some testimonials on there. You can see how people have benefited from our coaching. But please check us all out and help us out. Be part of the solution out there. And then as closing words as it relates to this particular topic, I want to close with this. Growing apart doesn't have to mean growing away forever. With honesty, humility, and help, you can rediscover the connection that brought you together and build something even stronger than before. So, remember those words.
And I think one thing, and that's I missed you saying it, but remember, you can also reach out to the Heal and Restore Counseling at website.com. We have a no-cost discovery session, right? It's probably at the bottom of this. It's just I'm way ahead of myself, right?
Stay focused, honey. Stay focused.
Okay, but I didn't hear you.
He gets excited. Let's put it that way. That's his passion coming through.
So as we close,
let's get there.
I'm going to invite you to check out all of our books. They're on Amazon, and they're also on our website. On Amazon, our website's just paperback.
Yeah.
But there's a link to Amazon, which they have paperback, Kindle, and Audible.
On some of the books.
On some of the books, right? The first book is The Healing the Wounded Child Within, written by me. It's Healing from the Pain of Abuse. That one is a #1 international bestseller.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
And #1 in 5 mental health categories.
Beautiful.
Too, okay.
Yep.
Then we have our first marriage book, How to Heal and Restore Your Marriage, a 4-step process to restore the most important relationship. Now, I can hear it right now. Our relationship's fine. I don't need to heal my marriage. That's called contempt prior to investigation.
Yeah.
4 simple steps. It's going to help enhance your marriage.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we should have used the word enhance.
Enhance, yeah.
Okay. The next one is Renewing Bonds, 7 steps to restoring your relationship. Hearts Reunited, steps to restore love and intimacy. Then I have the 30-day devotional to wholeness, which is a great devotional. And at the end of every devotion, there's 3 contemplative questions. Our couples, we give this book to all of our couples. They generally will read it together.
Yeah.
And then they answer, another way to start a dialogue, they answer the 3 contemplative questions
Communication.
together. It's communication, right?
Yeah.
And last but not least, I just released my new book early this month, called The Healing Path, a survivor's guide to healing from abuse. So it's what I learned about healing. It's kind of how my healing journey went. It's coming from me personally, and that's all I can say. It's coming from somebody that has really walked the journey,
has been on
so
that
again,
journey.
all these books are available on Amazon or on our website, right? And we still, here it is right here, what a knucklehead I know. Right? We still are offering a 1-hour no-cost discovery session where we get to hear from you on what you're looking for on your healing journey, as well as you will have an opportunity to hear a little bit about us.
Yeah.
We have found that this is the best opportunity to build trust as you begin your journey.
Can I just add something to that?
Oh, sure.
If you missed last week's episode, go back and listen to it, because it talks about why you want to have a coach in your life.
Right.
And so we encourage you to go back to last week's episode. If you haven't listened to it, get some clarity on that, and then reach out to us if you're looking to start a journey.
And the reason we do these discovery sessions is because we're going to be embarked on a journey that a minimum of 12 weeks, and they could go. We have clients now that have been working with us for over a year, or a little over a year, right? Their choice. We want to make sure that we're a right fit for you. We don't want you to get into this thing going, oh my God, what are these people that,
they're whacked.
They're whacked, right? We don't want that. We want to make sure you're comfortable going into this right off the bat. And we also want to make sure that we're capable of helping and meeting your needs. Yeah,
it's all about transparency and vulnerability, and we want to hear from you. We want to be able to be open and honest with you as well about ourselves and our journey. So it's very important that we establish that type of a relationship that is going to benefit all parties.
Yes.
So that's beautiful.
100%.
Thanks, honey.
So
you got ahead of yourself, but you
recovered. You know me, I always get ahead. I get excited. Like to say, it's my passion for this stuff.
Yes,
I love helping people. Hey, man, if you get an hour of free whatever, take it.
Yeah, hour, no cost. All it is your time.
Yeah, it's just an hour of your time. No obligation. At the end, it's your choice.
I say it's your time, but you're worth it.
Yeah, you are very much worth it. We want you to know that.
Yeah, that's good.
Regardless of what people have ever told you.
Yeah.
Okay, you are worth having a fabulous life.
Yeah, beautiful.
So, remember, if nobody tells you they love you today, Randy does.
Cathy does.
But more importantly, God does. Be blessed, everybody. Have an absolutely fabulous week, and we will see you next week.